What diplomatic strategies should Bangladesh adopt to address border tensions while maintaining cordial relations with India?
I think the answer is in your words. We have to maintain cordial relations. If we want to maintain cordial relations, then we must talk with each other. We cannot be making policies by crossing each other's signals. We must engage and we must diffuse. Bangladesh and India cannot afford to have hostile relations with each other.
How has the leadership change in Bangladesh impacted relations with India, particularly in trade, water sharing, and security?
Well, a lot of emotions are in the play in both sides, in the media and social media. But my impression is that the governments of both the countries want to continue maintaining cordial relations with each other. And I think the official signals is what we should give importance to. Because the social media will feed a lot of news and fake news, which vitiates the atmosphere. That is not in the interest of either Bangladesh or India.
Do you anticipate shift in India's approach towards Bangladesh under the new government?
Listen, both countries, every country's foreign relations is based on its perceptions of its own national interests. We have our national interest and they have the national interest. The friendship between two countries is decided by their ability to address each other's national interest in an amicable manner, so that the national interests of both countries come and meet at a point where there is an equilibrium. When there is an equilibrium, you call that friendship. If the equilibrium shifts, then there will be turbulences in the relationship.
So what changes could arise in maintaining strong ties with India after Sheikh Hasina's tenure?
There has been a regime change in Bangladesh, and it is undeniable that India has permitted Sheikh Hasina to stay in India. Now, we have to address each other's mutual concerns, keeping that factor on the side and not make it central. Because by doing so, we are likely to obfuscate other issues which are of vital importance to us. That is, maintenance of harmony along the borders, continuation and expansion of trade, as well as connectivity with our neighbors to our east. The larger question of cooperation will become under stress. For both countries, proceeding on the road to regional cooperation is essential to reach the goal of self-sufficiency, self-development and autonomy in development towards higher growths of income.
How might regional cooperation in South Asia evolve following the leadership change in Bangladesh?
Whenever there is turbulence between two or three countries in the region, the process of regional cooperation experiences hiccups. Regional cooperation means cooperating between more than two countries. You have to have good bilateral relations with at least three contiguously located neighbors. Therefore, it is in the interest of all the neighbors in the region, to sit with each other and amicably discuss issues. We should take a lesson out of how ASEAN deals with their interstate relationship. We can learn, of course, the lesson from Europe, but we are not in Europe, our culture is different. ASEAN is the closest culture to us. But we can also learn from what is happening in East Africa, West Africa and Southern Africa. East African Union is a going concern. They are at least 50 years ahead of the South Asia region. We should ask ourselves why they are ahead and we are not. Remember that the world is going forward. even if we do nothing, we are going backwards.
What priorities should the new government focus on to ensure stable India-Bangladesh relation?
Re-engage in official conversations as well as re-engage in people-to-people contacts, re-energize trade and economic activities. Without these, we will not be able to move forward.
How can Bangladesh balance its national interest while fostering a cooperative partnership with India?
I assume that our national interest must have as a core goal good relations with all our neighbors, whether it is with India or it is with Nepal or Bhutan or Sri Lanka, which are immediately around us, or with China, which is at one stage of separation from us, or with the ASEAN, which all the countries are Bay of Bengal countries. I see regional cooperation on a larger scale and frame than we have so far seen. From SAARC, we move to sub-regional cooperation, BBIN and BIMSTEC. I am envisaging taking it even one step further to say that BIMSTEC plus configuration, which means all the Bay of Bengal countries, that's the 7 countries on the Bay of Bengal rim, plus adjacent countries of interest, which have an interest in the Bay of Bengal, that is landlocked countries like Nepal and Bhutan, and countries in the ASEAN region like Vietnam, Cambodia, etc., Brunei, with whom we have interests, should comprise a configuration like Bay of Bengal cooperation, and we should have the 2 ports of Singapore and Male as the eastern and western entrepôts of such cooperation. This will make the Bay of Bengal, which has over a quarter of the world's total population in this region, also with the aggregate GDP, they will be the 4th largest after USA, China and European Union. We are all emerging powers in one way or the other, and I think together we will have better bargaining influence in the global discourses.
In final words, sir, I am asking whether you have started the new initiative, Bay of Bengal initiative under your leadership. What's the objective of these institutions?
To foster greater cooperation. I'm not talking of an alliance, I'm talking more in the sense of a fraternity of the countries of the Bay of Bengal region who can bring together their respective economic and strategic strengths and work with each other to further their own national interests, but in a collective manner. I'm not talking of an alliance. So we can start, like the European Union started with just what was called the European Economic Cooperation. Then it progressed to the European Economic Community. Then it became the European Community, because from economy it started addressing other issues. And at the final stage it became the European Union. I am not so foolish as to jump to a Bay of Bengal Union, but we can at least have a Bay of Bengal economic cooperation.
Thank you so much.